Well, I went and did it again. I looked on Craigslist. You know, I was latheless and millless, but this came up, and I made the mistake of looking on Craigslist, finding it, and then going and taking a look at it in person. So I've got myself a little Sherline lathe, or mill rather. They also had a Sherline lathe, but I don't need a lathe. And I'm really going to be able to hog stuff off with this. You can tell. For scale, I'll just put my hand in there. So that's how big the machine is. A little bitty fella. On the other hand, you know, it will allow me to do some things similar to having a milling attachment, I would think, for the lathe. And so I went ahead and picked it up. It does work. The little spindle here turns. I have no idea how fast it's turning. It says it goes as slow as 70 RPMs up to 2,000, I think it was. And this particular model is the 5410, which is the metric version. So I really didn't want metric, but on the other hand, it's about time I made my way into the metric world. The other thing is, it came with a few attachments that you can see here that will probably be pretty handy. I mean, look at that. This is I believe it's a 4-inch rotary table. I mean, isn't that just the cutest little thing you can imagine? And this is the vise that came with it. You can see somebody's had a run-in right here with that. But anyway, it came with the vise there. And then it came with this little rotary table, which is kind of nice. And it came with this, this is what they call a 45 degree angle. And basically you take the rotary table and set it up on here, or somehow or other it attaches to the table, and then you can do cutting in the vertical axis here too. So that's kind of cool. I'm looking forward to playing with that. As far as other accessories, I'm going to move the camera and we'll go through the different things that it did come with. But this is something I'm going to have to get used to. I think 1 millimeter is like 4/1000 of an inch, or 1/1000 of an inch is like 0.025 thousandths of a millimeter. So this will help me move from strictly inch type of stuff, and I can get more into the millimeters. I haven't cleaned anything up yet. This is just kind of how it came. So let's take a look at the accessories that came with it. All right, well, these are the things that came with the machine. I showed you the little rotary table. So we've got that. We've got the little vise. This is one of those little precision vices where you can move the jaw by means of the screw here and then tighten it with that. So that's nice. And then I mentioned the right angle attachment for the rotary table. It also came with a slitting saw blade and a slitting saw attachment here. And this is, I believe, a number 1 Morse taper. And there's a little drawbar. Comes down and pulls it up into the taper. I got that and a couple of blades here. And I don't believe these have ever been used. You know, perhaps they have, but they're all packaged up there in the original grease, I would think, made in Poland. So that's kind of a nice thing to have for cutting slots into things. I got a whole bunch of screws. I don't know what they go to, but this is some sort of a screw in it thing. It's got threads and it's tapered. I don't know what you do with it. Allen wrench. I mentioned that they had a lathe as well, and these actually would go to the lathe rather than the mill. So I'm going to try and get those back to the cellar. A bunch of things here. I don't know exactly what they do or what they're for, screws and whatnot, spring. This would be something I think is out of a brooch kit, but that's all it came. So that's a bunch of high-speed steel, and these are brazed carbide cutters. This would probably go with the lathe as well. This is an interesting one here, how they've ground this one. Let me get it up close here. I'm going to have to study the angles on this one. It almost looks like a boring bar type of a cut or a grind on it. Okay, some other things. This I really don't know what this is, but it has something to do with adjusting the headstock or something. I don't know what it is, but I'll find that out. I'll look online. Some end mills, little small fellas. These are all 1/4-inch shank end mills. The bar for the end mill holder here, so that you can you screw this into the spindle and then tighten it up with that. It only came with one of these. It should be two, so I'll get the dimensions on that and make another one. Some more end mills here. These are all, I think, 3/8-inch shanks on these, and that fits into this end mill holder here, like so. Some collets. There's 3 collets that came with it, and these are just the cutest little collets you can find. This one is 3/16. This one's what is that, 1/4-inch? Yeah, 1/4-inch, and this one, that must be 1/8 of an inch or something. But look at how tiny those things are, and those are, again, number 1 Morse tapers, and you draw them up into the spindle with the drawbar and tighten your cutters in here. That's kind of cool. It came with a fly cutting attachment. That's pretty good, and he had left-handed. Let's see, it cuts on the left facing you, so this is a left-handed brazed tool here that he had on it. That's nice to have. And this, I'm not sure, it's straight, and so maybe this is some sort of a boring bar thing for bigger holes. I don't know. I'll have to look into that one. Some center drills. Always nice to have those. A drill chuck. And this goes to 1/4-inch is the capacity on this, or 6.5 millimeter if we're going to talk millimeter. It didn't come with a chuck key, so I'll have to get a chuck key for it. And a couple of extra bars here, drawbars. And the thing is that this came with a few things. I don't know what they are. There's this thing here, and I don't know if this really goes with the mill or not. I don't know what it is. I don't know what you would do with it. This almost looks like some sort of a clamp for the T-slots here. But I don't know what the rest of this stuff would do. So I'll have to look into that, try and figure out what that is. And then it's got 2 of these. They're a little different. This is too small to be the Morse taper in the spindle. So I don't know what that is. And then they have the same thread. This one does have what looks like a number 1 Morse taper, and it can work with a drawbar. So maybe you can put that in there and into the spindle, and there's some other attachment that goes on here. I don't know. I don't know what it is. So that's what it came with. Maybe in the future you'll be seeing some more milling videos once I get it cleaned up and put together and learn how to use it a little bit. So we have at least some limited capacity here to do milling work now.